Denied Love the series episode 6 homework first. Since today Kwanrin was moving out to live somewhere else, just as she had mentioned before, Kimjira hurried to finish work and drove home to pick her up. She would take her to her new apartment, but there wasn't much stuff to move. Looks nice. Is the rent expensive, Praenarin? Kimjira asked as she dropped Kwanrin off in front of the building. It was already late, and she needed to get home quickly before the rain started and the traffic got worse. It's reasonable. I chose this place because the community is good. Is it close to your office? She asked, knowing that Kwanrin had already found a job. She was also working in an office, but in a different location and on the other side of the city. Yes. Thanks for dropping me off. But if you ever have any problems, you can always come to me, Kwanrin said with a relaxed smile. She was happy to be on her own, giving herself space and time to stop thinking about someone who saw her only as an older sister, especially since that person was already married. You make it sound like something bad is going to happen. Kimjira pouted. But Kwanrin wasn't wrong some days, she even got kicked to sleep on the couch. That was clearly a relationship problem. I'm just joking. Go home now so you can have dinner with Kunrin. Alright, I'm going. Good luck, Prin. I'll text you later. Before leaving, Kimjira didn't forget to hug the person she loved like a real sister. But just as they were saying their goodbyes, it seemed like Kimjira's bad luck was acting up. Someone was watching them from a car not too far away. Praenarin had been following Kimjira ever since she left home. She had turned her car around to trail her, curious about where she was going. She knew Kwanrin was moving out today and wanted to see where she would be staying just in case she ever needed to wrap Kimjira up in paper and toss her in the trash. That way, she could drop her off at Kwanrin's place without any trouble. If you're that attached, why don't you just move in together? Praenarin rolled up the car window and grabbed her phone to set up an impromptu night out with her girlfriends. She suddenly felt like drinking. Every time Kimjira acted that way with someone else, it annoyed her. She always said she loved her so much, but the moment she was out of sight, she would go hugging other people. Just wait, Kimjira was definitely sleeping on the couch again tonight. After following Kimjira, Praenarin headed to a fancy bar where she had arranged to meet her friends. In the past, they used to meet when she missed for pie or felt down enough to drink her sorrows away. But now, it seemed like they met up every time she had something on her mind about her own wife. The bar had a bit of a raw, industrial design, not exactly the best fit for a group of stylish women like them. But since it was private, introverts like her, who only left the house to talk to friends, found it more comfortable. Grace, Ing, Julie, and Praufa, each of her friends came from wealthy families. If they weren't helping with their family businesses, they had rich husbands taking care of them. Once everyone arrived, they ordered the bar's signature drinks and crossed their legs elegantly, their makeup perfectly in place. Praenarin, however, was the only one sitting there fuming, still upset about her husband sneaking off to hug someone else. Rin, why do your eyes look like you haven't slept? Are you overworked? Julie leaned in, peering at her closely as if she was about to offer to fix her makeup. Praenarin quickly leaned away and masked her emotions by sitting up straight, sipping her drink slowly and gracefully. Just the usual. CEOs have meetings almost every day, nothing new. She still felt the same way about her as she did about Pie. By the time Praenarin got home, it was already 9 p.m. She figured her father must have gone to bed by now. The only one still waiting for her was Aunt Mulai, the senior housekeeper, standing at the front door with the house lights still on.